Alright, so there was a patch note. I'm going to get one more video of this, since it took me a while to figure out exactly what was going on. So patch note in the most recent patch saying most skills will now attempt to activate as soon and as frequent as possible, so long as their inputs are held down. This also applies to most ground targeted skills when instant ground targeting is used. There is a bug with this with warriors, where if you go into Berserk mode, right there, and hit your F1, but hold the F1 down just a split second too long, it's actually going to auto-cast your F1 until you get out of combat or are able to cast another skill. And then I realize that it seems to be weird how you can get it to stop. If you can get out of range of the target, sometimes it stops, but not always. And you can stop your adrenaline gain sometimes. But it's just really buggy. And this has really been bothering me in matches because I use a modifier key sometimes to hit. If I'm using my Tartarus here, as you can see, I use a modifier key here. This is Alt for me. And then 1, 2, 3, etc. So if I hit Alt, and then while I'm holding Alt, hit 1, it hits F1. Now, you don't need to have a modifier key to trigger this bug. It will do it on its own. So Alt 1 is one of my commands for my burst skill. Alt 2 is a command for the Berserker skill. Also, F1, F2 are also commands which I can hit on my keyboard, if I please. Now, the reason I think it's tied to the patch note, the most skills not attempt to activate as soon and frequently as possible, is apparently Celestial Avatar on Druids has had a similar bug with this, where if they hit it just a tad too long, it automatically cancels Celestial Avatar. Same with the Revenant facets, it makes it really hard to cast the facets properly. So here I am attacking the skull and building up adrenaline. I think I actually have the bug triggered right now. Yep, I have the bug triggered right now. I'm not actually casting F1. So let's cancel it. Probably from my previous recording. See, it's still trying to autocast, so let me get out of combat, or at least out of range until, let's see if that stopped it. I'll wrap and see if it's done. Nope, bug's still active. So yeah, this bug is extremely annoying. Let me kill myself. Hopefully that puts me out of combat. There we go. Now the bug will be cleared. So what's causing that bug? Notice my auto attack is my number 1, not my F1. So what's causing this bug is when you enter your Berserk mode, not if you just use the F1 by itself. You have to enter Berserk mode. So, headbutt, Berserk mode. Now if I were to just tap Arc Divider once really quickly, it won't autocast. So I hit F1 on my keyboard so I could reliably hit it fast enough. And notice it's not auto-casting. But because of this change, if I were to cast my F1 and hold the skill down while in Berserk mode, it will bug out and just start auto-casting the F1. So I'm going to do this on the Tartarus so you can see. So I'm in Berserk mode now, and now I'm going to hold the F1 down a little longer. So that should have been long enough to trigger the bug. It was just literally a few split seconds longer. And surely enough, it's now auto-casting. And the funny thing of this is, too, is, as you saw before, it's really hard to cancel this. So it's not actually on auto-cast. It's just bugged out now. And I can swap weapons, it'll still continue the bug. Sometimes I can even hit different skills. Okay, that skill canceled it. Not all skills will, though. Okay. So, as you saw earlier, the Great Sword Rush and running away from the target doesn't always clear it. It can kind of bug you on what clears it or not. So now, to see, like, I'm going to hit the F1 after going to Berserk mode as quickly as I can, and it should not trigger the bug. I'm in Berserk mode. So I tapped it really quick. Hopefully I tapped it quick enough. And surely enough, it's not auto-casting. Now, with the way this wording of the patch notes is laid out, I wouldn't think it should put it on auto-cast. If I'm not touching the skill at all, it shouldn't repeatedly auto-cast into Oblivion. And this can be really rough because of the auto-cast, so like if I were in Greatsword, I'm just going to hit it on my keyboard. I'm going to hit it long enough that it does that. Now let's say I want to swap to Act Shield and use my Shield Bash while I have enough adrenaline. Well, that's a problem because it's going to automatically cast my Eviscerate and interrupt my Shield Bash. Like, I can't cast Shield Bash while I'm in the middle of an Eviscerate. Not only that, if I need to run away and kite, that Shield Bash is going to be useless for me, because if I have Adrenaline while this bug is active and I don't know the bug is active, let's say I've only hit that Greatsword once, right? Berserk mode ends. I still have some Adrenaline. I swap. Can't use my shield when I swap. It's just a really frustrating bug, and it can be really gimmicky as to when it triggers and how long you have to hold the skill down to trigger it. But that is the bug. I will put this up on the forums with the note in the patch notes that I'm referencing with this bug. This is how you can recreate it. Hopefully Anadels will figure this out, figure out a way to fix it. If anything, just revert that change. A lot of people seem to be frustrated with that change in terms of the Revenant skills and skills that have multi-stage casts, like Celestial Avatar. So this is just really bad execution there. So yeah, hopefully this gets fixed. I wouldn't mind seeing the maybe in the options a toggle to have this setting, or just see it removed. I don't think it's incredibly useful.